Who's he?
Tomorrow, more bodies will arrive and then sadly depart. I'm managing a
Good
train
evening.
terminal.
I'm Dr. Reid.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague. Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Okay.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Okay, so Rakesh is not afraid of the death since he served as a medic during the war. Okay.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Okay.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Oh no. Oh shit.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Not answering the question though.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No, I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reid. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
I don't quite get him. He seems to be a very clever and smart guy. And he was a doctor? I mean, look at the amount of blood that he would give us. That's insane. So there's a lot about Rakesh. We just have to find out about it.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Okay, codeine, a strong analgesic and antitussive drug, often used to ease pain and coughing. Opium, with the rise of the epidemic and the rampant shortage of legal medications, London citizens for its sedative and anesthetic, my god, properties have recently used opium again. An enigmatic formula. This formula written on a piece of paper seems complex and needs to be analyzed. It sounds intriguing and interesting. A formula, so it's like a scheme or something? Let's buy that. Especially since I think there is something about Rakesh. So
It never ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, seem peaceful and lost at the same time.
So I guess these are his goods.
It's locked, all right.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to steal either, so...
More bodies will arrive and then sadly depart. I'm managing a train terminal, not a morgue.
Your city needs you. What, how does he know you're a vampire? Do you think he knows that?
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Oh, that's actually very kind. Do you really think he knows that? What makes you think that? Your city needs you. Every life saved by efficient medical aid is a blow struck at the heart of the flu epidemic. Volunteers make the difference. Inquire at the nearest appointments office of the Ministry of Labor and National Service, or write to 15 Kingways, London.
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
He's smoking, okay. Crumbed letter. Dear love, I finally found the missing money for the fee asked by the ambulance driver to bring you to the hospital. Don't worry about nothing now, except getting better, for I took care of everything. I asked some of our neighbors, and they told me that this Mr. Hooks is something of an honest crook. He may ask for extra money in exchange for a bed, but the bed is then guaranteed. I'm sorry I refused to pay first, and I realize now that the important thing is that you get better soon. The Pembroke hospital is a good place, I heard, despite the bad behavior of this Milton Hooks. I promise you that everything is okay now. I'll see you in your clean bed as soon as possible. With fondest love, Nikolai. Nurses are needed now. In the name of mercy, they depend on you. Nurses are needed now. Inquire at the nearest Library National. Actually... okay, he's standing alone, so no connection, but... there's something about him. Something about Rakesh that I don't know yet. But it's definitely interesting.
On every street corner.
The giant morph disguised as a hospital.
Oh, we haven't talked to her? No.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reid, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reid, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Okay. I don't think so.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Okay.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
This is not how I feel, though. Winnie, hey! Nice to see you. How are you tonight? Hope you're good. Ever heard of Cotard's syndrome?
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Okay. Okay. So it is really the syndrome. Interesting. But she has a relationship to someone. So that's gonna be interesting.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Yeah, of course. Especially as a bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The garden near the morgue. Well, there were skulls, but I don't think you're referring to them.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
I mean, she's obviously like completely losing it, but I do sense some truth behind that. Maybe those, like the Priven Order, is kind of hunting her because they really think that she's truly a vampire. I mean, we do not know for sure.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reid. Blood is the only drug I need.
Okay. Of course. Ooh, who are you really?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay. Alright.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
What a pun. Nice one, Jonathan. Nice one. Okay, who are you? And whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me, even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul, they belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
Okay.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
So I guess that he shall be her ghoul then?
Good evening, sir.
Let's see.
Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Okay, so he's easy to mesmerize.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Seems like a psychic wound, not a physical one.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Oh. Wow. Okay, wow. Okay, that's pretty sad. But also cute. He's like busted from the outside, she's busted from the inside. Oh.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You wouldn't recommend playing this game if you suffer from depression? Because it's so sad in some parts? Or why?
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Oh, that's actually very cute. Can we do something for him?
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again. Fear and disgust on every street corner.
That's Sean Hampton.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
They're all about to suicide in this game. So much they're sad. Oh well. I mean, imagine this time being there, like, in this hospital. Under those conditions, and in their conditions. Not an easy life.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
I'm not so sure about that.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Clay Cox was the leader. Are you kidding me? Maybe we should have taken him out.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Referring to what Swansea did to us. Like when he used the cross to keep us away from him. Interesting.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
What's interesting about him is that we have no way to check on his medical condition. Right here. We can't do it.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
I'm gonna try again, just...
Hello again, Dr. Reid. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
We have no options here. Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Okay.
It's locked.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about her, right? About taking money from that poor man who just wanted to get his wife here to the hospital. We need to
Good
talk
evening, Nurse
about
Hawkins.
that.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
That's a strange camera, but yeah, here we go.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
That is pretty harsh.
You put a price on hope. This goes against everything you swore to uphold as a nurse.
Report me then, Dr. Reid. Report the little nurse and keep on lying about the surgical errors, the wrong dosages and diagnostics that we all covered for the sake of our colleagues.
Is she threatening us? Sort of.
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Wow. Birmingham, 27th October. Hello sis, how are things in the big city? Here in Brum, things are not so good. It seems the flu is here again and we have many new cases of infection in the neighborhood. Do you remember Miss Scheller, the old drinking hag from the third floor? She passed away 2 days ago and the flat is already occupied again. Jeez. You would have to pay me a huge amount of money to go sleep in the bed in which a woman died of the flu just a few hours ago. Sorry, I did not take time to quickly answer your last letter. Between taking care of little Paul, mom, dad, and my job at the factory, I rarely find time to write to my favorite sister. By the way, my son says hello to his Auntie Pippa. You should see the little bugger. Already driving me mad. And mom says you bring back some of those marvelous cakes the next time you come back home. In your last letter, you told me you thought about quitting your job at the Pembroke hospital. I have to tell you, Pip, you better think twice. There are always jobs at the factory, but wages are shit. And it's as boring as a day without a shack. Oh, I have a new fiancé, and no, I'm no slut, you moral bitch, you. So if you really want to quit and do something more useful than counting the dead every morning, maybe you better stay in London and join that band you told me about. The Guard of... or Priven, something like that? Never heard of them. But if they are, like you said, some sort of civil militia trying to make a difference, then maybe it's a good choice for you. Just be sure to let the others go in front. That's how my poor Billy got killed in France, by leading too many patrols. Bloody war. Anyway, come back as soon as you can, and give me all the good news before that. I am your affectionate sister, Lucy and Paul. Mom and Dad.
It's locked, all right.
And we do learn more about her. Well, I think we should have a talk to her again. Question is, where is she? There you are.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Fish! Hey, welcome. Fish says, you passed me now, I believe. Sucks my computer struggles to play this game. I'm just happy my PC can handle it. Somehow. Okay. So, well, you're of course very welcome to join me on this ride. Okay, we need to confront her with what we just found out.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
But you're doing something important here. For all the patients who need your help.
We save lives, sure. Each time we send a cured patient home, it's a relief beyond words. But since the epidemic, I feel so powerless.
And that's why you take the money of the poor? Great. Anyways.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
You shouldn't, because if you're joining that Priven order, I'm probably gonna kill you. Sooner or later.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
We do know everything about her now. Yeah. She's not completely bad. I mean, she's trying to help and everything, but that she saves bats for patients who can pay is not cool. That's something I totally
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
dislike. Now I want to talk to her husband. Yeah, and what about him? I mean, like the former leader of this white boot gang. Definitely not cool. Oh. There you are.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reid. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Okay, that's why. Can't argue much to get, against that.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins is thinking of leaving the hospital?
That's not a surprise. We've talked about it already.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be right. We should run away while we can. Question is, where can we go? Where is it safe?
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Perfect.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see this city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
Goodbye, Milton.
I totally disagree with that attitude. The door to this patient is locked. So how do we get information on him? Interesting. Maybe later on. And welcome, Undead. How you doing tonight? You can't.
It's locked, all
get in
right.
there. Okay.
It's lost its effect on me.
I guess. Oh. I guess it is time to find our office. It was on second floor, if I recall it correctly. Dr. Swansea.
I cannot enter.
Okay. What about this side, though? Okay. A surgical hacksaw able to cut through bone. We're talking. We are talking. Oh, it just does so much more damage. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, it drains more stamina, but like we can probably attack 1 times less. But we hit like a truck, so I feel like that's good. Yeah. What happens if we equip 2 things? We can probably switch later on, right? Can we unequip it? Nope. Okay. Oh yeah, we should definitely equip that. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Bummed that he missed the first 4.5 hours on that. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna stop soon though. So you can watch the VOD. Fish, you're already giving me the way. Yeah, no worries. We're gonna find it. No worries. T. Alwood's medical file. Oh. Wait. Why do I always create custom markers? That's just stupid. Okay, I'm still not completely used to the system here. There. Patient Thomas Elwood, followed by Dr. Tippett's. Status convalescence. Date of admission September 16th. Date of release to be determined. Notes: the patient's face has been heavily burned and disfigured by a bomb during the war. Even with the use of the strongest sedatives, he affirms to regularly endure severe pain from the wounds, as if the flames are still burning under the skin. He says, examinations of the Cicatrized tissues show no trace of inflammation, infection, or swelling. Scars are clean. Could it be a case of persisting nerve damage? The patient never ceases to blame himself for his disfiguration. Could it be a case of guilt of the survivor? Phantom pain manifesting as a punishment for not dying with his comrades. Could be. That's what I thought, though, that it would be some kind of phantom pain and psychological background.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Too bad. Okay, we're gonna go here in a second. What? It's already... It's already here? You gotta be kidding me. How fast was that? Okay.
It's locked, all right.
The 3 other doctors. Okay, before we go into our office, I wanna check on Swansea.
Not now. Please come back later.
Okay, he's very busy right now. Okay, I get it. Cool. Well, this is a very cool place that we got. Dr. Swansea's message. Dear Jonathan, ask Nurse Crane to secure an office for you on the 2nd floor. Please forgive the austere decoration, but Pembroke Hospital is not exactly the Ritz. Sorry to let you discover your office alone, but I need to sleep a little before going back to work. I'm just a mere mortal, after all. Ah, what a pun. I also gave orders to let you rest, and for the staff to never enter your room. You will be able to sleep all day without being disturbed, and work at night without raising any suspicion. I'm afraid the place is quite messy, but you will be able to conduct your experiments here at your own pace. You'll also notice there is an open window with a scaffolding that will allow you to enter or exit the hospital without being noticed. Oh my god, this is amazing. I imagine how awfully new and disturbing this all must be for you. Believe me, I've studied enough of your species to understand what you must now be facing and feeling. Be assured, I'll do whatever I can to help you in this ordeal. Know that you're not completely alone facing it. I'm glad I met you. These dark times we are all presently facing. I hope our future collaboration will yield great results. Welcome to Pembroke, my esteemed colleague. We shall talk soon. Yours sincerely, Edgar Griffith Swansea. P.S. I left a copy of some of my notes concerning what I have discovered about Econ in... Okay, sometimes I don't have the mouse cursor there, so... As long as you don't use this knowledge to take advantage of me. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Well, definitely can make this place work. Awesome. It is a rare opportunity and almost a privilege to approach a vampire, to observe their most intriguing physical and psychological traits with a scientific and rational eye. Here's some of the most fascinating abilities I've personally observed over the last 10 years while interviewing a few vampires, or econ, as they prefer to call themselves. Okay, so econ and Skal, I guess. Supernatural speed. A vampire can act and move like a mortal in all his actions, but the trained eye will spot that they have the keenest senses and can react quicker than any mortal. On a few occasions, alarm, surprise, necessity to flee, I've seen a vampire move so quickly, it is almost as if he had vanished, just to reappear somewhere else. The human eye cannot follow their movements when they act so quickly, but it is not a teleport or dematerialization, it is only a supernatural speed. For me, it is a cat-like attribute, which allows them to run, dodge, or jump longer and faster than us. I also noticed that such speed seems to exhaust them, and that they are bound to physical limitations. Mesmerism. One of the most powerful abilities a vampire can deploy is the capacity to force a mortal to obey them. I call this trait mesmerism, but it has nothing to do with the mortal ability to alter a subject's mental state. A vampire can bend a mortal to their will, and they can even break a mind. A vampire I interviewed even told me the more a subject tries to resist, the more permanent the damage will be, as if the vampire could literally fracture their target's psyche. The same vampire explained to me that this ability required time to master, and that the results could vary widely from one subject to another. Implant a false memory, erase a painful one, the possibilities are endless and frightening. Could this mean that we could help people using this ability? That's gonna be interesting. Blood awareness. This may be the most catastrophic ability of all concerning vampires, since it is the cause of so many tragedies for them and us. Vampires crave for blood. They must use their will to restrain themselves from frenziedly drinking every drop of blood they can see. They need blood to function and to express their full supernatural traits. A famished vampire can be very weak, even if he cannot die of hunger or thirst. This urge, this need for blood, may explain why a vampire is so aroused by it. A vampire confessed to me that blood could sometimes blind him, since its smell and attractiveness can be so strong. When he focuses, a vampire can almost see blood all around them, inside warm bodies, through walls, on a supposedly clean weapon. The same vampire even told me that he can see if a mortal has clean blood or is ill, and that in some cases he can even sense diseases, infected clothes, or even items in a room. If that is true, it could have so many medical applications. It's almost beggars belief. Foreshadowing. Dead. Yes, I remember. But in Rise of Insanity, we didn't have vampiric abilities, right?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Okay, can we bring it water? There's enough undead, or dead, undead, in this room. We don't need a flower to be dead as well. Okay, this is the workbench. Okay. Okay, this is not open yet. Okay. Let's spend the night, level up, and close today's session, or tonight's session, yeah. And tomorrow we're gonna continue right here, researching the blood of William Bishop. So, let's see, what can we get? We have a decent amount of XP. Okay, so this is like a shield. Or probably it's a passive. I guess this is a passive. Vampires afraid of suffering damage are familiar with the hardiness ability. This blood ability will protect the vampire from damage. Unfortunately, it does not stop from being grabbed by enemies. You can hurt my body, but only if you can catch me. Now we're gonna leave out those. I feel like that will be very cool. Oh yeah, and that. Holy. Oh, yeah. Those two. Those two. How much is it for the next one? Oh, we need to be level 6. Okay. Forget it. What about this? Increase your blood absorption when using bite in combat. Since we're doing that so much, I mean, plus 20%. That's pretty decent. Plus 40%. Yeah, I mean, blood is life, right? And whenever we get more blood, we can use the abilities more aggressively. And that will come in really handy, because I feel like many enemies will be resilient to physical attacks at some point, so let's do it. Okay. So we have more blood capacity. We get more blood by biting enemies, and we can increase the life region when using bite in combat to constantly heal up a bit. I mean, increase the damage inflicted when using bite. Probably we should go for both. We can get 2 more. So increase your life region when using bite. Yeah. Yeah. Let's increase the bite damage, because we will probably use that a lot. And the first level here is doing plus 100, and then it's like already less effective. So increase life region when using bite. This should make us somewhat strong. We can heal, we can bite, we can heal. Yeah. I think this will be good. Plus we can also use the Shadow Mist a bit more. This is good.